Welcome to Cravings Control for Fat Loss. I'm your host, Laura Cavallo, former sugar binger, overeater, and yo-yo dieter turned fat loss and cravings coach for hundreds of busy women. Here at Cravings Control for Fat Loss, I'll be sharing mindset, movement, and metabolism strategies for those who are ready to ditch the fat diet cycle and slim down without counting calories, tracking points, or giving up any of the foods they love. Get ready to embrace progress over perfection, grace over guilt, and bring curiosity and learning to the inevitable ups and downs of your life. Expect a decrease in your cravings while seeing and feeling an improvement in how you look, how you feel, and your overall quality of life. I am so excited you're here, boo. Let's get started. Hey there, boo. I am so excited to announce that another round of the Cravings Code will open for enrollment this September. If you haven't heard, the Cravings Code is for women who struggle with overeating, constant cravings, and insatiable hunger, and are ready to get them under control while shifting their all or nothing thinking around diet, around exercise, and their health. What you can expect is up to a 70% decrease in your cravings, in your hunger, and your overeating, and prime yourself to naturally eat fewer calories and sustainably lose weight if that's one of your goals. The best part of all this, there's absolutely no eliminating your fun foods. There's going to be no fad dieting, and there are no gimmicks. As a result of the strategies and tools I'm going to teach you, you're going to see your guilt, your shame, and the stress around food slowly fade away. I guarantee it. If this sounds like something you need and are interested in, go below and add your name to the waitlist. By adding your name, there is absolutely no commitment to join, but you do get an option to enroll early at a majorly discounted rate. More details coming in August, and I'll see you there. Welcome to another episode of Cravings Control for Fat Loss. My name is Laura Cavallo, your cravings coach, and today I'm answering a question from someone in our community. I got this question in my DMs on Instagram, and I thought that it was a really great question to answer here on the podcast because if this person's thinking about it and wondering, then I'm sure other people are as well. This person says, "What do you find more successful when it comes to treats? Having one or two around when you want them, or go out and get it when you have to have it? I'm struggling because I can't control myself when it's already here. But if there's nothing here, I go out and I overdo it. For example, if I have a sugary cereal in the house, I will have a bowl every single night until it's gone. But if I don't have anything on hand, I will go out once a week for a much larger one-time treat." Thoughts on that? Thanks, Laura. Really enjoying your content. I think this is an amazing question because this shows me that this person has awareness around some of her eating habits, around her cravings. She's noticing some patterns that have come up when it comes to things like sugary foods and restricting foods at home. And so my answer to this is, when you're first starting out on your cravings control journey, I don't recommend either of these options actually, because when you are not buying something and keeping it around, or you are limiting yourself to just having one or two, like I can only have one bowl of cereal, you are already feeling restricted and limited by forcing yourself, right? Again, not to buy something or only enjoying it when you finally want it. And for most of us, when we finally let ourselves have it, we end up overeating it, right? Because we've put this food on a pedestal. And there is a psychological component to this. There are studies that show when we restrict something, the psychological impulse to obsess and think about that food increases. So my recommendations to this person was, instead of trying to limit your treat foods, right, I would recommend that you do two things. The first thing is I would actually recommend that you include this treat food with every single one of your main meals of the day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but in a smaller portion than you normally would have. And if you've been following me for any amount of time, You know that Satisful Plates is how I eat and how I coach my clients and what has helped my clients reduce cravings, hunger, and overeating, mindless snacking, afternoon eating by up to 50% in the afternoons. So when it comes to including this treat food in on your plate, it's not just this, right? You are also leading with a protein forward food, 1 to 2 palm size amounts. You are leading with a detox food, 1 to 2 palm size amounts. And you are also including a smaller portion of your crave food. For some people in the morning, that could be a slice of toast or half of a muffin or a bagel or half of a croissant. For lunch, that might look like a wrap with some chips on the side or a little side of French fries with a burger salad. For dinner, that might be a potato or some rice or a little bowl of pasta. For this person, she's telling me she craves sugary cereal. And so maybe in the mornings, she's going to have an omelet with an egg and some egg whites. She's going to have a side of berries, and then she's going to have a little bowl of this cereal. Maybe for lunchtime, she's going to have a salad with some protein, and then her crave is going to be a little cup of this cereal as her dessert. That is strategy number one. That's my tip number one for this person. And then afterwards, I'm going to share what this strategy does for you. The second tip that I want to give you is to shift your mindset away from telling yourself that you need to limit yourself and limit treat foods, and shift your mindset to more of inclusion and focusing on including more of your lean and detox foods in your diet. Right. And so what this does, it's this small shift away from restricting, limiting, and eliminating to inclusion. What can I add? What can I bring into my diet? Just takes the pressure off, right? It takes that mental strain off of saying you can't have something. So when you focus on adding more of these lean and detox food into your diet, right now, automatically, the crave foods that you might eat and enjoy and crave, these slowly start to become smaller portions or they start to fall off. So these two tips do a couple things, okay? First, you get to enjoy the foods you are eating and they become more satisfying, right? I can't tell you how many times I see women going low carb or going low fat, and for 2 days they can do it, and then by day 3 they're like, oh, I hate how I feel. I don't enjoy anything I'm eating. I'm exhausted. I'm irritable. I'm tired. And this just sucks. So again, at Laura Cavallo Coaching, we do not compromise our health and we don't compromise our satisfaction for fat loss. I believe that we can have everything all together and still achieve our results. So foods become more enjoyable and more satisfying when you can include your crave foods in a smaller portion throughout the day. In addition, you start to focus on things that you can include, things that you can bring in, foods that are more nourishing and volume forward and have minerals and fiber and vitamins and will help you feel better. As a result, you become less inclined to snack later on fun foods and overdo it. You stop putting these fun foods on a pedestal. They become less special because shit, you can have it anytime, any day. You just have it in a smaller portion with some lean and detox foods. And now you start to break this all or nothing mindset around food. You start to break this restrictive cycle that you have, which can sometimes lead to overeating and overindulging. And you start to develop a healthier relationship with food. And I want to just note that initially, right, it may not be as smooth as you want it to be. The crave portions may not be as small as you want them to be, right? Until you get the hang of it. And if you're someone that is stressed out by having these foods around, right? Like you have to eat it all, like this particular person shared. I want to encourage you and I want to help you understand that the more you do it, the more trusting you become in yourself, the less special these food become, and the less obsessive you become over them. So it takes a little bit of time, but as soon as you start with Satisful Plates, I have seen clients reap tremendous results in as little as 5 days. As little as 5 days by starting their days off with a Satisful Plate. So, as a little recap, start to shift your mindset away from limiting treat foods to including more lean and detox foods. And in addition, start including your crave foods, your fun foods, your treat foods in every meal in a smaller portion so that you're not feeling restricted, so that at the end of the day, you feel like you want to have the whole thing. Let me know if this was helpful, what I talked through, if you've had struggles like this, or if you have any other questions that you want me to answer on the podcast, go ahead and drop me a line on Instagram, and I can't wait to hear from you.